time they miss a call, whether they're working, plumbing, doing whatever it is, each time they miss a call, they lose $78, which is 3 calls a week. That's more than $6,500 in lost revenue. So it's not just in plumbing, in independent contractors, local services, and tradespeople. 80% of their interactions still happen by phone. So it's an untapped market, and that means there's a lot of growth for disruption. And that's why we created Avalonn, a 24-hour AI voice agent that monitors your call, accesses your inbox, plugs it into your job or CRM, or texts you the message, and hopefully in the future does it multilingually. And I spent a lot of money on this, so to get a Texas number working. So you could call this phone number right now, and a really worse model of one of the voice agents will answer your call and book you in. I'll get a text message right now with your information, all of that, and I'll show the number again at the end. So yeah, I spent a lot of money on that today. But 3-step process of how our thing works right now. So a call comes in, and you either have 3 options, right? One, there is the emergency detection. That's super important. If somebody's calling at 11 p.m., they could call to just book an appointment for tomorrow, or they could call because my plumbing is exploding and I need help right now. As a plumber, I don't want to miss out on the golden opportunities to upcharge. So, so you would want that parsed and sent. I just got a message. Sent to you right now, and that's step 1. Or the other question is, can you directly plug it into their CRMs, meaning book that into their schedule, calendar, or whatever? But I'll get into this later. We pivoted a bit from the Jobber integration for now because we found that the guys we are working with right now just want SMS and they don't have a CRM. Then the other thing is we have a vector knowledge base enabled where it learns all about your business and it's able to do quote estimations. That's one of the most time-consuming things a plumber, independent contractor has to do. So I like close to accurate quote estimations of how much something would cost based on images and things like that. And in terms of validation, I'm obsessed with, so I've been working on voice agents for a really long time. Then this plumber pivot happened really in the past 2 months. So I've been obsessed with customer interviews and talking to a lot of customers. We have 8 people ready to try the product. Like MVP is ready. We have the Canadian working version much better. I'm from Toronto, and it's also cheaper. You guys everything is just more expensive here with my money. And there's 6 people who are ready to use the thing, and our main guy Hamza, he's our main pilot, our champion for the product, and that's our ICP, what we're working backwards from. Then that's the main thing what we're trying to do. As soon as our next thing is going to be getting all the pilots running the program, then switching to a paid plan based on the value we provide. Next slide. So it's a $1.5 billion opportunity if there's a million businesses, and maybe 70, what we're looking at is 70% of them are the 1 to 3 person businesses, meaning they don't have a receptionist, they don't have employees who are ready to answer the call. It's a 1-person sort of thing. And from that, if we could get $1,500 a year, we would get $1 billion, or $750K out of just 500 contractors that we could just enable and onboard. And that's our goal, get 20 people onboarded by the end of this year. Next thing, so what makes us different? So I try to reach a cold message every founder of the bigger guys, or like Bland and all these other things. The 3, how we're different is 1, the other guys, we're so much of a small fish that Bland does not care about people like us, or me. Meaning they do enterprise sales for custom workflows for a lot of enterprise businesses. So this is too specific of a niche for them to build something specifically for. Then there's the other guys who are like good calling them. They're like AI receptionists for any sort of business. But our thing is, can we get the middle tier where we're really custom for plumbers, tradespeople, specific CRMs and day one and everything. and how can we build it just for them. Then this is our team. I'm Alex, and that's my co-founder Tulia. He does CS at Queens. I do physics and CS at University of Toronto. Then these are our advisors for Rajiv and Victor. Rajiv helps us with the business model and like foundational pricing strategies, and Victor is really good at sales. I'm improving at sales. I'm trying to get better at sales, and that's just something he's helping me with. Then we're backed by some really cool people. This is not YC, actual YC. This is YC Startup School I got into last year, and we really had an opportunity to talk to a lot of the YC office hours with some of the partners, and really dial down on like how we're doing it, and AWS and Delors and BMZ and things like that. Then we are looking for 30K to really boost on distribution. Then 20 customers, and you could call this number. That's it. Thank you so much. Call the number.
Great job. Yeah. Well, this is definitely up my lane. This is really a high level. What inspired you to get into it? I know that you've met a customer, you said you're getting into voice agents. What?
Yeah, I was initially trying to do something for cafes, then trying to get them reviews and all of that. Then that pivoted to how can we help dentists and like restaurants. Like we had a lot of Chinese restaurants in Toronto, and we're trying to like get them customers. But those are really hard because they're like top level, like margins are really low. So I was in India, and I saw a lot of the how in Kerala it operates is like a lot of people work as independent contractors, themselves and a few other people, but like it's not profitable to do it there. So I was like, is this exist in Canada? That's how I found the whole voice agent niche, and not voice agent niche, but like this specific like plumbers. So, yeah.
And what do you need the money for?
So there's a slide for that. So distribution is the hardest part. Building it isn't. We have 25K from AWS to just burn as much as we want. But distribution is real. I used to do a lot of consumer stuff, and I know like the guerrilla marketing, the Cluely type of marketing, but it's a total different beast. Enterprise sort of like business sales. So our biggest thing we've seen is going to trade shows and that sort of stuff, and it's really hard to get a booth and expensive to get a booth and that sort of stuff. And distribution is something we want to spend money to get better at. Yeah.
Great job. I actually loved the niche. There's companies like Service Titan that have like carved out the most unbelievable sticky product for this type of business. But I just want to go back. So the target audience are folks who have a plumber with 1 to 3 employees.
Yeah, we want to be the Claude Code of the 1 to 3 employee plumbers. Meaning like they're fully operating their thing from our thing. That's our high level goal. But
So just a thought, right?
Yeah.
So I understand the value you're bringing to that side, the plumber. Never miss a call, never miss an opportunity. All right, AI agents are going to tell you, okay, this is critical. You can upcharge. If you can get there in 3 hours, it's great. What about for the customer? Like, what are they getting out of it? Because I built something similar on a ride-sharing platform once, and it was based on like drivers could kind of like bid, right?
Yeah.
Like whoever gets it first gets dinner, right? So have you thought about like what can you do to make this so awesome for the customer who has the broken pipe?
Exactly. So you mean the customer who's calling the plumber, correct?
Yeah.
So I think the main value prop for them is one, you don't have to do the whole like you got to call. A lot of calls now come in have to be at 9 to 5 p.m. or else they're gone, or you can't book a call. But a plumber, it's a bit different, but majority of like traditional business happens 9 to 5. This is okay, you could book anytime, anywhere, then book that call.
What I'm trying to get at is like the customer is like, my house is leaking, right?
Yeah.
So I actually don't want it to go to voicemail. I want someone to actually figure it out. So then why not have something that solves for the customer, which is like this call goes out to multiple plumbers in the area because you didn't answer.
Then
right?
we would be the marketplace, or the plumber would be, then we would have the marketplace issue.
We just become a lead distributor.
Yeah, to each of the businesses, or you would do you would be the lead distributor to a bunch of businesses. that would be, I don't know how difficult that would be to set up in different areas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on that, this is a very competitive market. What do you feel like you're going to be the best at, the distribution or the product?
I think coming in, I don't know the other backgrounds of other builders, I guess they're also really technical. I think what we want to, okay, yes, we're technical, we build a great product, but what we want to be really good at is how can we build anything that just solves the right problem for the 2 to 3 person business, and yeah, how can we be the best people to do it? Because Jobber is what I'm like looking at as to be the main like, okay, that would be the highest level of like different.
So, yeah, just to give you some background, so Service Titan services the top 1% of all plumbing groups.
Yeah.
Jobber is the mid-market. The 1 to 3 don't use any systems.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so if you're thinking about solving the problem for them, it's picking up the phone and calling them, and then when they miss the call, you wait for them to call you back 2 days later and saying, hey, you know how you're calling me 2 days later? I'm gonna fix that
Yeah.
problem. Right? Like that's honestly how you solve it for them.
Love that.
Yeah, and so I think that's where you should figure out, does the product really matter or is it distribution? If you can get to the plumber, the lower level plumbers faster than anyone else, you'll win.
It's hard, like the distribution is what we're like in terms of like struggling with initially. So there was like a bit of time where we have like I'm just working with, I know like a VC startup that's funded. We were trying to do the feedback aspect of their lives. I know this is like a different tangent of like a route, or we could just use the same technology to, let's say this conference, get feedback like SurveyMonkey. We would get feedback on whatever product or what they're validating, and that's how we like made the initial sort of thing while we're trying to like figure out distribution for this.
My only question would be, I guess the 1 to 3 plumber scenario like everybody's talking about, how do they really want to do this?
So yeah,
Why-
initially
more
yeah, we
importantly,
came in
why,
with
why they're 9 to 5 people, why do they want this?
Yeah, and they don't have a lot of discretionary money.
right? That's one of the biggest challenges, but I think what we want to do is find the ones who are, I think it's a big enough market where there are ones, there's some of the customers we talk to, they don't care to get more clients.
Yep.
Because it doesn't,
Right,
it
they're busy.
feeds them and their family. But we want to find the ones who want to grow and scale and grow with them. And I think that would be our biggest like opportunity. And the main customer we have is the guy. He's like a younger person,
Yeah.
and he wants to grow. And he's like growth minded. And how can we grow with them alongside them? Just thinking about.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was gonna say, I mean, it's a good little like gateway, right? Because I'm thinking about my plumber. I mean, first of all, they charge so much.
Yeah.
They're very busy, and you know, there's so many things they could use help with, not just the callback, like invoicing, billing, like all this stuff, man. It's like I think there's a really good opportunity, but throughout this way, like the distribution is key. Like you gotta get, you know, the platform in front of folks. It needs to be their go-to.
Trades associations, they have like these like things. I'm trying to get tapped into that.
I think you really should really get into the industry that you're thinking about, because the 1 to 3 person plumbing
Yeah.
group are not going to the trade shows. They're not a part of the associations. They're happy with just making a living. They're not really trying to grow into their, you know, to grow it into a scaling business from there. Now, there is a market for each of those,
Yeah.
but you can't say you're gonna spend money to go doing this when you're really trying to attack a different one. So that clarity, I think, is super important.
Another thing I wanted to say was like when we couldn't get the upmarket in terms of like older plumbers are like the ones who are bigger, we thought about and like started trying to contact some of the trade schools, and how can we get the ones who some sort of growth strategy to get the ones who are graduating with like a thing onboarded for free or something. So we're burning a lot of like right now, like the pivot just burns a lot of tokens for us, and we're really grateful we have the AWS thing, but it doesn't cover the 11 labs or all the other voice foundation models. But yeah,
Is there any way that you can have some automated telephone system that can sell you this to these smaller plumbers?
just
what I'm
do
talking
the
about.
be the AI that sells it to them.
Yeah, somehow they call and leave some type of a message that might get their attention.
Can you just do outbound calls?
Yeah, I think it's possible, but initially I was just not scared, but I just heard there's a lot of problems with just mass calling and you doing the outbound and instead of doing the receiving aspect of it. But I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, so the way you want to think about it is like from a constraint philosophy.
Yeah.
The constraint is how do I do outbound calls?
Yeah.
Well, there's a law. Well, how do I
Yeah.
do it without breaking the law? You know, and you just kind of work your way down until you get to the solution.
Yeah, the bottleneck is the law, so.
Yeah, but there is ways to accomplish it, right? The question is how do you accomplish it to work around the law?
Great job,
Yeah, great
and,
person.
and also appreciate your vulnerability, like you've
Yeah.
clearly been out there trying to figure this out,
Shadow
so
that,
kudos.
whatever it is.
I enjoy the fact that you said it's costing me a lot of money.
Yeah, just running,
Yeah.
running for the
So you're in the
thing. I was
trenches.
up all day
Yeah.
trying to like figure out, buy like a number and usage for taxes.
Yeah.